you know what, let's take the living room and turn it around.
Yes.
Where we're looking at New York instead of New Jersey, you know, type thing. And that, you just have to make them like your second hand, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. And, of course, you know, you can only do so many creative things. You also have to consider, you know, the laws of the municipality is what they call it. You've got to do things according to the trade code, whether it's electrical or plumbing. They have to be a certain way, of course, installed a certain way. And then, you know, appliances are what you're going to see, right, as a homeowner. You're going to see that sink or toilet or cabinet. That's what you're going to see. Everything behind that, inside the wall, underneath the floor, that all has to be done a certain way and according to code, which goes back to, okay, should I get this job permitted by the city or the county to make it legal? And then you want to think about, am I going to sell this property, you know, down the road? Am I an investor or am I a homeowner? You know, am I going to use this? And then when I go to sell it, it needs to be permitted so it's legal, especially a room addition. You know, any alterations to the structure, that absolutely has to be permitted by the city. And then, you know, you go from there.
Well, you know, it doesn't sound that bad, does it?
No.
No.
No, the biggest challenge is finding somebody, you know, like shopping for a dentist or a mechanic. You know, you want to get references. You know, if you know any neighbors or friends, family, whatever, that have done some work recently, go ask them, did you like your contract? What'd they do for you? And go look at it.
You also have to like the person you're going to be working with for quite some time.
Right.
I mean, they're almost going to be living with you for that amount of time. So you've really got to have a good personality, click with that person. That makes a world of difference when you're trying to decide who to choose also.
That's a good idea. It really is. And then also, Nancy, we're going to bump you up a little bit in here talking about contractors. You're with Prime Lending. I think now would be the best time to bump out what you guys are doing. This is too cool to hang out a little, you know?
Well, the last 6 years we've been in this slump. Now property values are starting to come back, and people are finally looking at their properties as an asset again and not a liability. It's time to take that asset and fix it up. Rehab financing is taking off like crazy. People are redoing those kitchens, redoing those bathrooms, doing the backyard, adding that barbecue kitchen out in the backyard, and pools. We can do all that financing. We take the value of the home after it's completed, and we can include those construction costs with that transaction. So you have one loan at the end of this. Whether it's on a condo or a single-family residence.
Say that one more time, that I come to you, right? And I go, Nancy, I need some help here. You know, I got this house over in Talabadoo. Don't ask me where it is. It just popped in my head this minute, right? Yes, it is a Dorval town, isn't it? Isn't it down south somewhere, right? Yeah, somewhere down there. All right, so you find this house, and you need to borrow the money to purchase the home, and then also the construction. So you're telling me and all of our listeners, when you go down there, you figure out what your loan is, what you're approved of, you have an idea what it's going to cost to redo it, and that all adds up into one loan, one payment per month?
Absolutely.
Holy Toledo. Whoa, that's cool. Didn't I tell you this was happy, guys? We need our happy music, Mia. Yes. So, say that one more time.
Okay, so if you find that house in the right location, but it's ugly, and you want to make it pretty, be like the Property Brothers on that home network, and go in there and redo it all. You can buy the house and build in the repairs for that house, the rehab for that house, and get one loan for it. It's appraised as if all that work is being done. So if the appraised value supports that, you've got one loan and all the work in a pretty house.
Now, is there a length of time that this fantastic thing is going on?
No, it can go on it's going on like crazy. In fact, construction's coming back out too, ground up construction.
And you have a couple of different programs, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And not just the FHA, we have the conventional program, and we even have just a pool program. If you just want to put in a pool, we can just do a pool program for you.
Nice.
That is unbelievable. I told you this is going to be a happy show. Yay! Yes, and then, now, hang on, okay? Nancy, hang on. All right, now, back to Daniel and Barbara. Daniel, you were telling us all about the contractors, which everybody should really know. Do your homework. I'm really big. Do your homework.
I know. I hate homework also. It just... Yeah.
Yeah, but don't you think it's better? Remember when we were children, we came home from school, you'd go out and play until you got your homework done?
Yeah.
Well, think of it that way. The more homework you do now with a contractor, the more you can go out and play because your house is done correctly.
That's correct.
Right? Okay, now where does the insurance come in on this? One more time, let's bring it back up. We talked about it last week, but like Nancy was just saying, all of us know, the housing market is going crazy out there. More construction, this and that. And everybody's got to make sure that they have their I's dotted, the T's are crossed. Now, I go to Nancy. I get the loan for the house, for all my improvements, all the good stuff, right? And she's going, you need insurance. Now, why do I need insurance from you all?
That's a great question. And you know, I want to start with, please don't fib to your insurance agent, because we really need to know what you need to accomplish so that we can accomplish the right amount of insurance. Number one, as Nancy knows, there's a big difference between course of construction insurance versus ground up versus rehab versus... So again, we have different policies to suit those. If the house is pretty much intact and we're just going to do some light remodeling, we need to put a remodel insurance. If it's from the ground up, course of construction insurance. And farmers... Nancy will contest to is one of the best companies to do that kind of insurance with.
Absolutely. When my borrowers were looking for insurance, I always sent them to Farmers. They have the best course of construction insurance policy that can roll over to their permanent insurance policy when the house is completed.
That's correct. So again, we need to know what it is you're trying to accomplish, just like Nancy does, to be able to do the right loan, the right plan, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. So yes.
Well, that's pretty cool. And if you just tuned in, you're listening to Let's Go Shopping with Bev right here on KCAA 1050 AM and NBC News. Dum dum bum. The station that leaves no listener behind. Last week we did the good, the bad, and the ugly in real estate. Now we're just doing the good stuff. Yeah. And we have Barbara and Daniel from Farmers Insurance. We have Nancy Kenny from Prime Lending, and we are waiting for Dale from Lowe's to be calling in, and we're talking about all the good stuff, because you got your house back, yay, and your condo, and your tent, you know, whatever you're living in.
And
right?
what I think is funny, too, is that, you know, the market's starting to perk up, isn't it, Nancy?
Absolutely.
So what does that do for interest rates and everything in connection to these kinds of loans? What's the interest rate for these versus a normal mortgage loan?
Well, what we can do is we have a one-time close construction transaction. So that means you are locked in for your construction and your permanent financing. So it automatically rolls over to your permanent financing. And then your rehab loans are already your permanent loan. It just has the leg of construction rehab built into it also. So your rates are today's rates. They're not going to go up.
So it's a locked-in rate.
That's correct.
So let's say the rate is 2.9, and you get that 2.9 or that 3.9, whatever. She's getting absolutely hysterically happy when I'm saying this, right? That's what it is. And if you have, and usually a mortgage is about 30 years. Right?
Yes.
Okay, unless if you're smart enough, once a year you pay that extra payment,
yes.
That 30 drops down to 15, and you're in, you're out, and you're all happy. So no matter what happens, you're still at that rate, that 2.9, 3.9, whatever.
Correct.
Oh, this is getting better all the time.
What are our rates right now, though, Nancy? Because I know it ain't 2.9.
I'll take two of those to go.
Okay.
No, they're more in the 4%, middle fours.
Well, the two popped in my head. I'm sorry. You know, and even 4 is low.
I know,
and that's great. So people were used to the 3s, but the 4s are great. It's still the time to buy, to rehab, to do whatever, move on to your next destiny in life. start investing into your future. And home buying is the best way to do that.
There you go. And then the other thing, why we get a jibber-jabbering, and why don't you tell us the beginning? We jumped right in the middle.
Yes, we
and
did.
started the beginning, right? Well, this was too good to hang
I know.
on,
But we don't know who Nancy is.
Right. Well, we're going to find out. Nancy, would you please tell all of our listeners the beginning of your story? When did you get started and why?
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you.
I have been in mortgage lending for 32 years. I started when I was 10. So, no.
I thought you were 8.
Somewhere in there.
Okay.
So I've been doing all aspects of lending, whether it's construction, rehab, purchase, FHA, VA, USDA, whatever the program is that you need, whatever the financing is that you need, whatever you need to finance, as long as it's secured to the ground, I can pretty much get it financed for you.
Now, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your original, can I say where the original company is?
My original, you mean
Yeah.
Prime Lending?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're in Texas, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
We're in all, I think we're in 49 states. We're not in Hawaii anymore for some reason. But we're nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
In 2012, we were the number 4 largest purchase money lender in the United States. So even though you don't hear Prime Lending like some of the other ones, we're a very big company, but we've got probably one of the best customer service around.
And I can contest to that, too, because, again, that's where I got to know Nancy was with one of my customers, and they're right on top of it, and you're good, and you understand the whole process. And just like with me with insurance, I want them to own the process, and you're good at that.
Well, my customers are my customers for life. I have customers that I've been doing their loans for 30 years now.
Wow.
That's not bad.
No.
You know, and while we're doing this, we're going to bump this down about 3 or 4 times. Why don't you bump your contact information?
Nancy Kenny, Prime Lending. You can reach me at the office at 909-801-3514, or better yet, my cell, 909-225-8787. We're located right in Redlands on Orange Tree Lane, so feel free to give me a call if you have additional questions.
Now, when you say Orange Tree Lane, are you down there by the deli?
I am one building away, 1 block away from that deli.
Okay, so oh yeah, isn't
Joyce
terrific?
Oh my gosh, I love that deli.
And the deli we're talking about is the Orange Tree
Tree.
Lane, yes, and Joyce owns it. And so you are in the middle of Shop Suey in the deli.
No, we are next to Century 21 Lois Lauer and KCAA.
Okay, so you're up. Okay, now I know where you is.
Yeah.
Right. So when you get off there and you're going down Orange Tree Lane, it's going to be a normal driving time without traffic. From when you first get onto Orange Tree Lane to where you get to Nancy, it should take you no longer than 6.5 minutes. Wow. I know that street like the back of my hand. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so continue, my darling.
Well, that's about it. As far as construction, though, honestly, there's a lot of qualified contractors out there. And the contractors that are out there now are kind of like the realtors that are out there now. They know their stuff. They've hung around. They are most of them are pretty good. And another thing is your contractor is going to be checked out by us. We just don't let you pick it. We check all the licensing. We do all the credit. We check public records. They have to be licensed, bonded, and have to have a certain amount of license, or insurance rather. They have to be cover at least $1 million policy. So when you use a company for your construction financing, you're also getting that double assurance. With a construction loan, the contractor doesn't get paid up front. They get paid post-completion. So the work has to be done, and then we give them money. So and that's another good thing, and we make sure title's clear. There's no mechanics lien.